Hello, good morning. My name is Tejveer Yadav, and today I am teaching you a topic that is the methods of separation in everyday life. So this is the sixth class topic and given in NCERT Science. The chapter name is Methods of Separation in Everyday Life. So in this chapter, basically we have number of mixtures. In this, we separate these mixtures by some processes like process name is churning and hand picking, winnowing, threshing. So student, in next slide we discuss how these processes comes. So first of all, let us discuss mixtures. So what is mixture? If two or more than two different type of substance combine to form a mixture. Okay, so this mixture is of two types. So what is mixture? If two or more than two different type of things combine to form a mixture, correct? So what is mixture? Mixture when we combine two or more than two different type of things, like if we have rice plus stones. So rice plus stone, this is a mixture. So we can separate this by some different processes. Later we will discuss. So first of all, mixtures. So mixtures are of two types. One, homogeneous mixture, and another is heterogeneous mixture. So homogeneous mixture and another one is heterogeneous mixture. So what is homogeneous mixture and what is heterogeneous mixture? So homogeneous mixture are those mixtures which we can separate out by chemical processes. We cannot separate these type of mixtures by physical processes. So what is physical processes? We can we cannot separate these mixtures by our hand or do any type of physical processes, but we can separate these type of mixture by chemical processes. So sir, what is the mixture of homogeneous? So first, salt plus water mixture. So you can say salt plus water mixture is a homogeneous mixture. Second one, you can say sugar. Sugar plus water is also homogeneous mixture. Once we add sugar and water, then we cannot see the particle of sugar and water separately. So we also say that sugar and water, while we mix, we cannot separate out in this mixture. Here is sugar or here is water. So homogeneous mixture can also be defined after making this type of mixture, we cannot see the individual particle in a mixture. Okay, now we can also differentiate these mixtures by number of differentiations, but in sixth class we don't need. So we can also separate these homogeneous and heterogeneous mixture by particle size. We cannot see the particle of homogeneous mixture by our eyes. Okay, homogeneous mixture by our eyes. Now let us come with the heterogeneous mixture. So the heterogeneous mixture are those mixtures we can separate these mixtures by physical processes, or we can say we can also define heterogeneous mixture by if the particle of mixture is seen by our eyes, so we can say this mixture is a heterogeneous mixture. So what is the example? Example of this mixture is chalk plus water. Chalk plus water. There are so many examples, but we can take only two examples, that is chalk plus water and sand plus water. Sand plus water. You all know that student, when we separate out, when we mix sand plus water, when we mix sand plus water, then after some time sand will settle out. Sand will settle out. So let me suppose this is sand in this mixture. So after some time sand will settle out at the bottom of beaker. Bottom of beaker. So this is sand and this is water. You all know that student, when we left this beaker for 10 to 15 minutes, then in heterogeneous mixture this sand is settled down at the bottom and water is at the upper portion in a beaker. So like that you can also know in sand water mixture or chalk water mixture, chalk or sand we can see easily by our eyes. Okay, so this is the homogeneous and heterogeneous mixture. Now we will going to new slide, that is student separation techniques. So here is some separation techniques. Separation of substance. We can separate substance according to their nature. So if we have a substance like solids, if we have a mixture of solid and solid, then we can separate out these mixtures by these five processes. First is hand picking, second is winnowing, third is threshing, and fourth is sieving, and fifth is magnetic separation. So one by one we will discuss all these separation techniques in next slides. Class, if we have a mixture of solid and liquid, that means one substance is solid type and another substance is liquid type, then we can separate these type of mixtures by these processes. Sedimentation, these processes like sedimentation, decantation, okay, sedimentation, decantation, evaporation, churning and filtration. So we'll discuss all these in next slide. So first method is hand picking. For what? Solid mixtures. In this type of separation technique, we use simple our hand to separate two substances. Like for example, if we have rice and some stones. If we have rice and some stone present stone present in rice, some stone present in rice. So we simply what we have to do, we have to separate out these stone by method. This method is called hand picking. So in this there is rice there is some stone. There is some stones. So we throw these stones, and what is left in this plate? So rice is left. This method is used for separating pulse, pulse and rice mixture, or stone from rice and stone from pulses. Okay, and the next separation technique is, we can say, the technique name is threshing. Next technique name, that is threshing. Okay, so now I'm changing the color, that is visible. Threshing. In threshing technique, we separate stalk plus stalk frost wheat grains, or you can say grains. Okay, thank you.